Michael is my oldest. He's very level-headed, rational, reasonable, calm. He's my strength very often.
We went on a family vacation for, I think, my parents' 55th wedding anniversary. After 4 or 5 days, I think we were there for a week. Like 2 days left, Mike started to not feel good.
The following day, we were in the emergency room with 106, and he was admitted. From that point on, things just kept spiraling and getting worse. The fluids that they had been giving him were going to surrounding his organs. They weren't going where they needed to. It's called pleural effusion. Capillaries leak. And so the fluid was around his heart and his spleen and his liver and his lung. And everything was spinning out of control at that point. He was sent to the ICU.
After we went to the pediatric intensive care unit, in layman's terms, I guess within a day or two, they put him into a medically induced coma. We couldn't talk to him anymore. We could only just look at him. They had to pick him up. They had to rotate him in the bed. He couldn't move himself.
He was intubated.
So then they said that he, we're going to try to treat him with all these antibiotics and all this other medication. And if it gets really, really bad, we're going to put him on this machine. 7 days later, the doctor calls us in, the head of the pediatric intensive care unit, and he says he's not getting better. We're going to have to put him on this Prisma machine.
So they asked for permission to put him on the Prisma, and they told us that within 12 hours, we would know whether our son was going to live or die, whether this was going to work. And within 7 hours, he started to turn around. His breathing got better, and eventually, within 2 days of coming off Prisma, he was extubated. They took the tube out, and he started to breathe on his own. And the following day, he was in a recovery room, and the next thing you know, he was on a regular floor. So it was a miracle. It was awesome.
There was a nurse who was gone maybe 2 days off a shift, and when she saw him, she couldn't believe it, because when she saw him over the weekend, it was his grave, and now he's off the machine. He's breathing. He's it was just it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
It's a whole domino effect. They're saving one person, and they're saving so many others that live for that person. That person is such an integral part of their lives and family.
I can't imagine how the person or persons or the team who created this must feel when people say to them, "You saved our kid's life. You changed our lives. You impacted." We touch so many other people. So they didn't just save our son's life. They've touched all the people that we deal with, and we deal with people in a different way now. So I can't imagine how good they feel about themselves. And for the people just, who have something to do with, just anything to do with creating this, I mean, you have families who are eternally grateful to you and will always be. I mean, I can't imagine what could be more important than that. I can't figure it out. I wrote the letter to Gambro because when my wife and I were in the hospital for 16 days and didn't sleep, at all, or half an hour a day, we saw 2 kids die. Things you're never gonna forget. And I realized that, we might have lost our son, and our lives would never be the same. And I knew that. And I was really thankful, and I wanted to send it to, the people who I thought saved my kid's life. because the whole time we were there and all these different things they tried, nothing worked.
We wanted them to know how important what they're doing is, because there are people out there that they're reaching, and I wish that more hospitals had machines like this. We were told we were so fortunate to go to the hospital that we did, because it's one of the few that has it, and I can't imagine why every hospital doesn't have it.
I was envisioning losing my son, and I knew I couldn't deal with it. I knew I couldn't, and I don't have to. So, that's why I wrote the letter. I was really grateful.